responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free. What do you see when staring back at your reflection? Are you proud or ashamed? Do you claim to see perfection? The mirror does not lie, yet you have the wrong answer. You're a liar that demands respect. Such arrogance is cancer. You lie like a Jew to comfort your troubled soul, afraid of taking responsibility, refusing to grow old. You need to wake up, you still think this is a game. Why would anyone fear a child who's afraid of names? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free. Who put the golden cuffs on you if not yourself? Who offered up their wrists for promises of comfort and wealth? But you know they are lies, fantasies that keep you in place. The lies that you repeat, which help enslave your race. Nobody respects a coward, no one kneels to a boy. No playtime for you, go to your room, you little boy. Want to be free? I'll tell you what to do. Next time you look in the mirror, accept the damn truth. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's responsible for it all? Is it the Jews or is it really me? Tell me the truth so I can be set free.
Guess who's back? Back from the grave. The white devil's back, he's broken out of his chains. No more white guilt, white privilege, or white shame. The time is now, it's now time for change. It's been too long, we've been watching in horror, seeing subhumans raping and killing our daughters. We've been paralyzed by fear, a never-ending list of martyrs, betrayed by politicians who have led us to our slaughter. We've been gaslit for decades to believe that we are evil. Our children are taught in schools to be ashamed of our people. We've been lied to about a history and forced to be equal, made to believe our excellence would lead to a Holocaust sequel. But we've had enough of all this anti-white hate and bullshit, and getting lectured by these diversity priests from their pulpits. Sick of the shambles, goy traitors, and every Jewish culprit remaining silent during this violence is no longer worth it. We tried it your way and did everything you asked. We played nice and all we got was a giant knife in our backs. In fact, our boy Metcalf just got stabbed in his heart and track. The anti-white hatred is so bad we can never relax. Guess who's back? Back from the grave. The white devil's back, he's broken out of his chains. No more white guilt, white privilege, or white shame. The time is now, it's now time for change. Guess who's back? Back from the grave. The white devil's back, he's broken out of his chains. No more white guilt, white privilege, or white shame. The time is now, it's now time for change. It's all going to end now, watch and you'll see. You can cry racism all you want, cope and seethe. You can pretend you have autism or that you can't breathe. We don't give a fuck anymore, our fatigue has reached its peak. We are the nation builders and inventors of everything you use. How dare you use our tech to hurl the abuse you spew. You anti-whites have as much arrogance as the Jew. You're lucky we don't round you up and lock you in a zoo. Perhaps you find these lyrics to be mad, racist and tasteless, but white America's visage needs a serious facelift. We don't have time to be sad, we're facing the great replacement. It's time to get mad and slaughter all the false idols held sacred. And what do all my words actually mean? Am I calling for violence or take away your dreams? No, quite the opposite. I just want my people to be free, free from the nightmare of forced anti-white diversity. Guess who's back? Back from the grave. The white devil's back, he's broken out of his chains. No more white guilt, white privilege, or white shame. The time is now, it's now time for change. Guess who's back? Back from the grave. The white devil's back, he's broken out of his chains. No more white guilt, white privilege, or white shame. The time is now, it's now time for change. Guess who's back? Back from the grave. The white devil's back, he's broken out of his chains. No more white guilt, white privilege, or white shame. The time is now, it's now time for change. Open your mind, listen to me. Don't believe all the bullshit they play on TV. They tell you lies, they make you believe, but only the truth shall set you free. I'm the most censored man on X for speaking the truth. I spent 9 months in internet jail trying to tell you about the Jews. They are behind everything, literally every single time. That's why I want you to pay attention to every single rhyme. It's the chosen ones who are behind everything you hate. They're the ones who control our minds through the media they create. They're the ones who create and push the culture of censorship. Then they lie and they cry and say that they don't censor shit. They say my rhymes are anti-Semitic, but don't refute what they say. They just call me a Jew hater and then they run away. They call me every name in the book but a liar for a reason. Yet they are the ones who are always lying while they're breathing. They play victim when they're the ones stabbing you in the throat. They blame all their crimes on Whitey, their favorite scapegoat. They stole all of our gold and run every bank on earth. They're a sophisticated international criminal network. Open your mind, listen to me. Don't believe all the bullshit they play on TV. They tell you lies, they make you believe, but only the truth shall set you free. Open your mind, listen to me. Don't believe all the bullshit they play on TV. They tell you lies, they make you believe, but only the truth shall set you free. They have been hated by everyone for thousands of years, and all of our ancestors' warnings have fallen on deaf ears. They always cry about the Holocaust and their fake showers, and deny that they ordered Messiah to take down the tower. Some of them will claim they're a religion and not a race, but you realize that's a lie because they all have a rat face. And many of them shapeshift and pretend to be white, but then they turn back to Jews when the time serves them right. I know how they operate, I'm trying to make you understand. It's like I have their whole game plan written on the back of my hand, and it's really not that hard to predict their next moves. It always comes down to what's best for the most Jews. So listen to me, friend, I'm telling you the truth. Behind every division among us, you'll find you know who. If you don't believe me, just check their early life and you'll see for yourself. It's a Jew causing us to fight. Open your mind, listen to me. Don't believe all the bullshit they play on TV. They tell you lies, they make you believe, but only the truth shall set you free. Open your mind, listen to me. Don't believe all the bullshit they play on TV. They tell you lies, they make you believe, but only the truth shall set you free. You can from where you are with what you got. escape your fate. A war's been waged on us, it's based on hate. None of us have a choice, we must put up a fight. This includes even you are part of our plight. This is a call to arms, it's not just a rap track. I'm looking for warriors who are willing to fight back. Men willing to stand up and speak the truth, willing to go toe to toe with the satanic Jews. You have to do your part, whatever that may be. You have to help us fight against Jewish supremacy, because if you don't fight, you'll just get in the way. And we need every man to be ready to play. But this is no game, it's either life or death. This is a war to protect all that we have left. We must stick together and never retreat. Never stop fighting till our heart ceases to beat. Do what you can from where you are with what you got.
Law of the universe dictates that there are many losers and fewer winners. Many losers and fewer winners. I repeat, there are many losers, normies, and fewer winners. I don't think you guys are. I don't think I'm quite getting through to you. One more time for the people at the back. Many losers and fewer winners. Okay, I can do this all day. Many losers. Okay, a very welcome back to the MrShowTym showcast. It's been a while. I think I'm coming up to about a month, 4 weeks now, since the last time I posted. Because I believe in power posting, okay? Unlike other influencers who are just, they have this rapid fire method to their madness, okay? They just keep posting consistently. And special shout outs to them, okay? Kudos to them, more power to them, okay? I, as a content creator myself, I've tried this method and it hasn't quite, unfolded the type of results that I expected, the type of results that I desire. Okay, I've done this whole rapid fire, just producing content consistently. I've also realized that in the influencer content creator sphere, if you're gonna mass produce content, you are actually sacrificing quality. So you are increasing quantity, and you are sacrificing and decreasing quality. Okay? Basically, it's like the law of supply and demand. Okay? Quantity versus quality. So yeah, I believe in power posting. I believe in lesser quantity now, and let's just up the ante when it comes to quality. Now, some people may look at this as, oh, that's the lazy approach. Not quite, because like I said, if you have a track record, this is the importance that I'm about to expand over to when it comes to having a verifiable body of work. As a young man, throughout your 20s, don't be afraid to fall flat on your face and fail numerous times, because that's your grace period as a man in terms of you learning and building something for yourself that could potentially parlay. You could potentially parlay into something that will springboard you into greater heights in the future, preferably in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. If you look at the most prominent people in the world, their success in life came about in their later years. To those who know Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, he his best years came about, unfortunately, in the last few years of his life. How old was Saint Kevin Samuels? In his early 50s. Look at Donald Trump. Now Trump, President Donald Trump, you can say that he's always been in the celebrity limelight. Yeah, but at the same time, there are levels to this. Donald Trump, let's say since he was in his late 20s, he started owning businesses, getting sponsorships from his father, Frederick Trump, over there in New York. When he first purchased, the Trump Towers, this was back in the day where New York wasn't much to look at. There weren't many investments. It wasn't much of a significant CBD, Central Business District. And so Donald Trump bought it, and then tourism, investors, casinos, infrastructure development, all that good stuff. So people's track records vary, but when Trump really started to become, something exponentially, remarkably, significantly important, is becoming America's president. And his journey, his track record, is one for the ages, really. It's a remarkable build up and a historical comeback. So yeah, and this has come out. Trump, his success in being America's president, America's greatest president, some may argue, came about, in his 60s, 70s. Late 60s, 70s. Trump he's entering his 80s now. You get the idea. So coming back to what I said earlier, I've been trying something different with regards to the whole content creator thingy. I'm trying out different strategies. So I started doing short form content when I first started, my earlier videos, just to try to find my feet. And eventually I wouldn't say I hit my stride, but I definitely found my flow. Okay, what I wanted to talk about, what type of information I want to disseminate out there into the world. Okay, what type of influence do I want to have? Why? How? So I've hit my flow, but since I'm not quite at my peak, I have hit a plateau. There's a difference. There's a difference between hitting your peak and hitting your plateau. Right now, I'm currently I've hit a plateau, and I'm trying to find ways how to surge through the roof of this plateau I currently find myself hitting, stuck under. Okay, so here I am. I'm trying out different things, and as men, understand that if you look at my videos, it's been weeks since the last time I posted. I'm doing the show. Well, one of the reasons why I'm doing the show is because I understand that you must keep your muscles fresh. You must keep your muscles exercised. You must keep exercising those muscles. I have my muscle is public speaking, disseminating information properly in a clear and concise and in an articulate fashion to the best of my ability. Now, if I'm gonna just sit and do nothing for weeks, your skill, you start to gain fatigue, and well, not fatigue, but you start to become a little complacent, and your skill set starts to dwindle a bit. Okay, it's been quite a while since I've done a show speaking, and when I'm not doing shows, I'm doing I'm doing other stuff. When I'm not doing my shows, that's less content being put out there. That's me not working. And I said to myself, okay, since no major topic has come about, I have to keep exercising my muscle. Just like a bodybuilder. Okay, you can't just sit there and not exercise and not work out. Okay, because you're gonna lose your muscles. So you have to find a way to keep exercising those muscles. My muscles is public speaking. My muscles is the algorithm. My muscle is trying to hit the algorithm wave that will make me relevant. In contrast, in relative to what I do. Okay. Now, some people, like Piers Morgan, for example, he's taken a break. He can afford to take a break because he's been working, putting out interview after interview after interview. He's a big name. He's a big name journalist. That's what he is. Piers Morgan is a journalist. Okay, and I respect Piers. Look, I'll say this right now. On a personal level, I like Piers. I find him entertaining. I find him funny. Yeah. I find him somewhat sneaky. But regards to who he is and his work, obviously we're against him, okay? Piers Morgan works for the Agent Smiths of the Matrix, okay? So Piers Morgan is our opposition, okay? And you've heard me, if you've been watching me, you've heard my critiques about Piers Morgan. But on a personal level, I do find Piers an interesting character, okay? On a personal level, I do kind of... I find him witty back when he used to work for Good Morning Britain. The whole Piers Morgan Clashes series, okay? that was funny. So you see, a lot of these men, okay, they get taken more seriously in the later stages of their lives, because as men, we age like wine, okay. Our experience improves and increases our value, because as a young man, the world doesn't take you seriously because you are assumed to not know much. Now, please, without trying to tell me about the exceptions to the rule. Of course, there will always be exceptions to the rule, but I'm talking in general. In general, as a man, do not be afraid to put yourself out there into the world and fail. I've even heard some people utter the phrase "fail forwards." Good point. Fail forwards as in you're failing, but you're learning something from that. And this is why it breaks my heart hearing these police reports of a young man who committed self-deletion because a girl rejected him for his farewell, his matric farewell. To my American audience, prom. You call it prom. Okay? I mean, look, as a young man, you're very impressionable, okay? And our egos are very fragile. And this is your hurdle to overcome. To try and develop that thick skin that is needed for you to be able to compete and earn yourself some level of gravitas and value to the world. Because, look, it pains me. To those who heard about Roger Jackson, the son of former UFC fighter Rampage Jackson, I feel sorry for him. Okay, of course he shouldn't have done what he did. I'm just saying I understand. Okay, as a young man, he's been trying to earn his father's respect. And Rampage Jackson has just been talking down to him this whole time. Oh, you are a bitch. You're a coward. You're this and that. You're nothing. And it got to him because he didn't have that thick skin. And when came a situation where he was tested, okay, it was a Psycho Stu, hit him with a can on his head. Psycho Stu, I mean, he didn't know, okay? It's quite obvious that he didn't have ill intentions. He thought, by wrestling terms, they were doing a work because behind Roger Jackson was a camera. So he thought to himself, okay, they're about to have a show. So let us, in boxing and in wrestling, you create tension by means of kayfabe. Okay, it's a staged conflict before the fight. So that's what Stu Jackson did. Hit him with a can, a fake can. But Roger Jackson took it personally, as a lot of young men do. There's certain things that people used to make fun of me when I was in school, when I was in primary, when I was in high school. They used to make fun of me because they said, oh, you're dark, especially the girls. And the guys too, some of the guys, I didn't quite get along with, that I was trying to earn their approval, that I was trying to hang out with. They said, oh, you're dark skin, you look like a monkey. And as a young man, as a child, we're very impressionable. Trying so, because as humans, we are social creatures. We need that social validation. And Roger Jackson, because he didn't have thick skin, and it's not his fault, to half a degree. It is his fault to half a degree because as a person, as an adult, you're responsible for your actions. The other half is, his father didn't do him any favors. Okay, talking down to your son like that. I mean, it gets to a person eventually. And now Roger Jackson's career is probably ruined before it even took off, before it even began. It pains my heart. Roger Jackson could have been the next best UFC fighter, trying to follow in his father's footsteps. It is sad. This is why, as a man, the world will test you. The world will challenge you. Part of the reason why, some young men, they commit, self-deletion is because the heat became too hot. And the saying, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Yeah, they couldn't take the heat, and they tapped out. In wrestling, when you're being held in a submission hold and then you tap out. Yeah, with a lot of men, young men, not just say men in general, but let's just emphasize. I'm trying to emphasize on young men here. It becomes too much to bear. If you've been a guy that doesn't have the universal consensus good looks enough for you to score the girl, or you don't have the genetic characteristics required for you to be a talented athlete. Because in school, as a school learner, if you're in primary school or high school, your whole world is school. Why? Because you wake up at morning, brush your teeth, eat breakfast, go to your parents' car, and you make it just in time, just before you're late, just before they close the gates. Okay, and you have your classes, you attend classes in and out, break, and in between we have your social interactions with other kids, other children, and you measure each other, both girls and boys, both boys and girls. We all measure each other. We're all competing, and we're very impressionable because in school, egos are high. Tensions can be high. It's no different than in prison. Okay? Let's not talk about prison right now. Let's talk about in school. I can draw comparisons later. Okay? You can just somewhat connect the dots. In school, we're all competing to be cool. Okay? Now, some kids, they have an advantage. They're tall, they're muscular, They have good looks. They're able to draw the opposite sex girls over. They're able to turn them over easier than others. Some kids are the alpha of their group. Remember what I said before? We're social creatures. We're all moving packs. We all have our groups. Okay? There's a cool kids group. There's a nerdy group. There's the girls over there. They have the pretty girls group. They have the not so pretty girls groups, and then you have your nerds, your social rejects. There's groups, all competing to be the best in either in sports or in academics or in arts and culture, whatever. And some kids do not have the same genetic disposition. Some kids have a disadvantage, etc. Same thing with girls. Okay, some girls were born with pretty looks, they're very beautiful, and especially when they start to develop. Okay, some girls are more obvious than others when they start to develop. They hit puberty. Okay. Wow, I'm starting to. No, that would be creepy. Let me. But anyway, you get the gist. And what I tried to say before, school is your whole world. Just because you play first team rugby, you think that you're the coolest thing in the world. No. Your little high school or primary school is a tiny little blimp compared to the rest of the world. There's no reason to ever feel diminished, to ever feel depleted, to ever feel less than. I mean, you gotta have those feelings, okay? But I'm just saying that to just ultimately pull the plug. I mean, if only you knew. What if I told you when you were 16 years old, madam, you were one day gonna win the Miss South Africa or Miss Universe beauty pageant, but because that guy cheated on you, you committed self-deletion, and now you're gone. Whereas you would have won. Demi Lee Peters, imagine if she, succumbed to, self-deletion, and there would be no Miss Universe South Africa 2017. Same thing for men. Don't think that, you could be an utter loser throughout your high school career. It's not the end of the world. It is a tiny blimp. You have no idea. Of course, you had to survive that stage for you to realize. Step outside your school, go to university, or you enter the workforce immediately. And you realize, even if you were a big fish, you were a prefect, head boy, head girl in high school, you were head boy of culture, head boy of sports, first team rugby. Okay, I'm not going to mention the hockey guys because men's hockey is gay. Okay, first team rugby. Okay, that's what? True. Okay, you play first team rugby. Okay, that's not the end of the world. Okay, that is nothing compared to when you play varsity cup, like how I tried doing. Okay, that is nothing. Unless if you're playing schoolboy rugby, unless you're playing for St. Bishop's, Paul Roos Gymnasium, those rugby schools. Okay, fine, but work with me here. Okay, are you following? It is totally fine to let yourself fail throughout your 20s. Now, I've succumbed to extreme depression when I was in school because I was trying to, have certain things going for myself, and it didn't work out. It did not work out. Try as I might. Try it as I might. Okay? Certain things just did not work out. But it's okay. Because you will look back during the time where you were in primary school or high school. You will look back and say, thank goodness I got rejected 110 times by girls Now I'm in university, or I'm now post-university, I'm in the workplace. Now I understand women a little bit better. Okay? Throughout your 20s is a time for trial and error. And more error. You will have more errors, more blunders, more whammings. Okay? Preferably. So please, as a young man who's in his 20s, yes, I'm not, of course, try certain things, okay? There's no rush at that point, because so many of us men, we have this pressure from our friends talking about, oh, I'm in my 20s, I have to make it now. Okay? I was told by my fellow friends at the time that, oh, by age 25 I'd have kids, I'd have my own place, I'd have a car, I'd be married, and I would have, multiple businesses. We all lie to ourselves. Why? Because it sounds good. It sounds good to the ears. It's ideal. Now, granted, that was a fantasy. It's a fantasy now, because with our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation, that was the expectation. It was a different time. Of course, by age 20, it was easier to get a job. Cost of living wasn't that bad. The inflation wasn't that high. Unemployment rate wasn't that bad. But now we're living in a more nuanced, a new simulation today. Times are different, okay? Now, some people don't understand. They're like, oh, why don't you go get a real job instead? Tell me, what constitutes as a real job? Can you tell, what's this guy, I Show Speed? Go tell him to go get a real job. He'll laugh at your face. Go tell that to Kai Sanat. Tell that to Sneeko. To the boomers watching, these are streamers who get millions of live views per stream. And I you know what? I look at these guys with their millions of live viewers and the amount of money they make, the revenue from their streams, and I'm thinking to myself, darn, I'm definitely doing something wrong. I'm doing something very wrong. Because, but then again, you have to understand that, the Matrix promotes mindless content. No disrespect to those guys, but let me just be objectively honest here. In comparison to what we do, we disseminate potent red pills. Okay? This is why we're shadow banned. But we have to channel and power through nonetheless. Do not be afraid, young men watching this, to fail. Now, enter into your 30s. You should look back to your 20s and say, what have I done? Because to those who know track and field, the 200-meter dash, the first 100, that first bend, you're building, okay? You're driving, you're building up that pace, you're building up that velocity. And then the last 100 meters, you either hold or, continue, try to accelerate if you can. That first 100, those are your 20s, okay? From age 16 all up to age 29, you're building, you're building up that speed, you're building up that velocity, and then in your 30s now you are riding it out, still trying to create further opportunities for yourself. But at this point, you should be more or less not fully established, but somewhat established in who you are, what you want to do, and you have to have a firm identity of yourself, a firm grasp of yourself in your identity. You may still have, some. You may still be stumbling here and there throughout your 20s, but at that point, that's where now you should at least have a body of work that you can parlay that into the future into something. You can at least parlay that into something that could feign further opportunities for yourself in the either near future or distant future. I have my body of work. Where's yours? As a matter of fact, remember earlier this year, while a lot of you watching probably made these New Year's resolutions. Oh, hashtag new me. Okay. We are now 7 months into the year. Okay? What have you done? How far are you with your New Year's resolutions? Probably not far. Huh? You conniving liar. You lazy bum. I've been busy. What have you been doing? By the way, your 9 to 5 job doesn't work. Sorry, it doesn't count. That doesn't count as a New Year's resolution. Okay, fine. You've been planning on getting a raise. Okay, what have you done? No, jump outside yourself and view yourself from a third person lens. What have you done? Not much. Thank you. And that's and you're going to continue lying to yourself next year, the beginning of next year, again and again and again. You have yourself trapped in this perpetual cycle of obscurity because you're doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You're insane. That's the definition of insanity. You need to challenge yourself, as a lot of people who you know that are big names have done. You know Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan used to host the Fear Factor back in the 2000s, the early 2000s. So Joe Rogan just didn't wake up one morning and he said, oh, I'm going to start podcasting. And the following morning, after doing one show, he has 13 million subscribers. It takes work. It takes time. I recently reached 1 million channel views in total. Now, to me, it was like, wow. I've been at this for podcasting venture for about 5 years now, and finally, it has paid dividends. Pity, it's not to say I can't say the same for my subscriber count, but 1 million faces that have seen this ogre, worth it. 5 years. Andrew Tate. A lot of people think that Andrew Tate woke up when he first blew up and got famous. A lot of 17-year-olds probably think that, oh, Andrew Tate said this. Andrew Tate said that it's the Matrix. Andrew Tate said that men are in love, women are in business. A lot of people think that Andrew Tate came up with all these catchphrases that he's uttered throughout all these podcasts. Of course, it's not like Andrew Tate started doing this whole YouTube thingy 10 years ago, and he's been collaborating with some of the guys in the red pill space, in manosphere space, and we learn off of each other. Oh no, no, those are conspiracy theories. Andrew Tate woke up one morning and he said, women belong in the kitchen. Oh, bang, 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 Don DeMarco, and then the Matrix attacked him and then became famous. That's what most people think. That's what children think. To each his own, fine, whatever. That would be very idiotic, but to each his own. Believe what you want. Okay? If you want to be an idiot and believe that success just comes overnight. By the way, that was not a diss to Andrew Tate. It's actually a compliment. It's actually paying homage and respect. He's been on the internet for 10 years plus at this point. Yeah, young men, exercise those muscles. I'm thinking of some of the people that have become well known, such as Patrick Bet David. Now, look, when it comes to Patrick Bet David, I've criticized him. I've said some things, okay? Because no one is perfect, okay? We all are not immune to criticisms. Okay, it's not a means of disrespect, but I do stand by what I said of the criticisms I've said about him. Okay, Patrick Bet David, he has what I like to call a term I first heard from Saint Kevin Samuels, a verified body of work or a verifiable body of work. Patrick Bet David started as an entrepreneurship motivational speaker. Okay, with his insurance business. I forgot what PHP. Yeah, people helping people. Okay, so do you see? Even Patrick Bet David, he started, he started small, and he eventually sold the company and he created Valuetainment, and those same patrons followed him over to Valuetainment, to his podcast. So Patrick Bet David, to his credit, he didn't just come on the internet as empty-handed. He's been busy. He served in the military. And I was surprised to find he has a picture. Pause, no homo. He has a picture where he has a healthy, muscular physique. He showed this on one of his shows. By the way, every man should have a photo when he was when he was young of him doing like a mirror selfie, muscular, buffed up, and all muscular and buff. The quality doesn't really matter. Why do I say this? It's because you're gonna need to look back. It is very convenient and helpful and very productive for you to look back and say, I've actually done something with myself, with my body, my temple that God gave me, my only temple that God gave me, your body. It's a very respectable trait when a man is muscular, because you know why? Most men are, fat, lazy slobs. So to all those young men who have a mirror selfie of them posing with their buff physiques, respects to you. I can now take you seriously because you have a track record of accomplishing something, and that is building your body, taking care of it. I too have such a picture. Okay? I too have such a picture. Okay? It's called gravitas. It's called a track record of success, a track record of accolades. And that is a good place to start. If you're 20 something years of age and you're listening to me now, do you have a mirror selfie? Doesn't have to be a mirror selfie, just, a picture of your healthy muscular physique that you've built. Because that is the first thing that you should look at and say, I built something that. That is a starting point. Do you? Even if it's a picture of you having six-pack abs. Okay? Something. But you had to have worked on your body significantly. To the point where you admire him like, wow, I looked good back in the day. It's the first thing a man should accomplish. Taking care of his own physique. Do you have a mirror selfie of your buff, muscular physique? Do you? Yes or no? If yes, congratulations. What have you done since? If the answer is no, you have work to do. Okay? You have some serious work to do. I question whether or not you're serious about life and making an impact in the world. So Patrick Bet David, he has built Valuetainment to what it is now. Now, granted, it takes a lot of finances to run such a podcast, and the studio that he owns, that little airport, it's a bank. Okay, I thought that his office was an office. PPT podcast. I thought that was just an office, until I saw his behind the scenes videos, and he actually showed his whole studio, his whole building, and it's actually a bank vault. I'm like, wow. And it has an airport hangar a mini airport hangar at the back with a private jet. Okay, he has a whole camera crew, and he sells merchandise. So yeah, and if I look at his Instagram stories, he's been on Fox News. He's interviewed celebrities, and again, it's pretty costly to book and secure the time of these big name people. Okay, and that has helped him build his platform, his podcast. So yeah, gentlemen, these are inspirational stories. Now, am I saying Patrick Bet David is perfect? No. I watched this video, King of Nothing, this channel named King of Nothing, where he does this whole expose of PBTs, exposing how he was using these people with this whole pyramid scheme. Okay, what did I call it? What do they call this pyramid scheme? It's not MIT. It's M something. Anyway, you get it. There's one that is legal and one that is illegal. So this whole pyramid scheme. Hey, Jay-Z made the song "You Can't Knock the Hustle." Okay, I'm not gonna. I have my opinions about it. I'm like, yeah, that is kind of snake-like. If you're on the other side, of course. But hey, he has his loyal legion of followers. More power to him, okay? But yeah, there's a saying in the manosphere said by a couple of OGs, okay? And that is it says, men must become women just are. Women just are. And I like to connect the dots to the title of this video, and that is, there are plenty of losers and fewer winners. I've done shows about this, explaining this with my blue chip mindset videos. Okay, you can go check that out. Before I decided to put it behind a paywall, and you had to pay money to attain that type of knowledge. Again, those videos, my blue chip mindset series, okay, doesn't have much of a viewership. I'm not surprised. Because why? Because people indulge mindless content more than they indulge in high IQ, high intellectual content. So the day I decide to put it behind a paywall, well, you snooze, you lose. Okay? And then you're going to be complaining, MrShowTym, you should give this information out for free. Okay, while it was still up for free, you were snoozing. And the people that viewed it, okay, early bird gets the worm. Okay? Now, I mean, you make your own choices, okay? If you wanna consume brainless content, watching Kai Cenat and Logan Paul and Jake Paul acting like clowns, be my guest. Okay, you make your own choices. You're a grown person, make your own decisions. Yeah, plenty of losers, fewer winners. Ladies, how many guys approach you on a daily basis? And you don't have to be the most attractive female ever. No, you just need to be decently average looking. How many guys approach you on a daily basis? Now, I'm not a woman, okay? I don't know. I've never had guys approach me, and I wouldn't want to, okay? Because I'm a guy. Heterosexual guy at that, okay? Unlike former US President Barack Obese, who's slowly being exposed as a skittle, but that's a different story. I digress. Girls get plenty of guys approach them on a daily basis on multiple fronts, either on their social media, Facebook, Instagram, in person, okay? And they only accept and they date the select few. And amongst the select few that get to inseminate them, usually it's one, unless they are broken individuals, they have multiple men impregnate them, but okay, those are the far extreme fringes. It takes one amongst 100 guys that approach her, one, depending on how modest and conservative she carries herself. Let's just say 5 guys will get to go out with her. Amongst the 5 guys, 3 or 2 will get to sleep with her. 1 will get her pregnant. And amongst, the semen, the insemination, there are millions and millions of sperm cells who are trying to get to one egg, one of her ovary eggs that she produces every month. Millions, again, out of the millions, 1 sperm cell wins the race and enters her ovary egg, and that's how a baby is conceived. That's how a fetus is developed. Okay? The other sperm cells that didn't make it to the egg are losers. Okay? Same thing with everything. Okay? Plenty of losers, fewer winners. How many people wanted to trial for to become a WWE superstar? Many trial, and few get to become WWE superstars. Some we will never hear about them because they got injured in the what's this called, the development WWE division that is now called NXT because now it's broadcasted. Okay, but there was a time where it wasn't broadcasted. NXT was called something else prior to it being broadcasted. Some of these potential superstars we'll never hear about because either they got injured or something happened. They just didn't make the cut. They just didn't make it. And the ones that we do know about, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, they were the ones that were, they overcame all the obstacles and they stood the test of time. And now, again, how many superstars can say that they've won the WWE title? Few. It's not every superstar in the WWE roster that got to hold or become the WWE title or World Heavyweight Champion. Okay? WWE, who got to become a WWE champion. Okay? How many superstars get inducted into the Hall of Fame? Few. Okay? So it's always a matter of many try, few succeed. Same thing, what's happening in the whole media news, current events fiasco. I made a prediction with this whole media fiasco because we are in the age of information. Okay, back in the day, during the medieval times, a hero was a man who was the most fearsome and tenacious. Okay, he was able to win the most wars and defeat most other opponents in battle. Okay, so your ability to basically your kill count. Okay, how frequent were you able to tally up your kill count and defend your neighborhood, society, city, town? You get the idea. Nowadays, it's who's able to influence society, our modern society, at a certain direction. Okay? For better or worse. Preferably for the better. I made a prediction that Elon Musk will be returning back home to South Africa to, establish satellites for Skynet, Starlink, here in South Africa, because Elon Musk may not have jurisdiction in other countries, but he sure does in his own. Okay? So Elon Musk, he has an incentive to, because Elon Musk is a globalist. Okay? That's how he can further expand his globalism, transhumanism endeavors. Okay? So that's why. And I've explained this before. So many people are going to fall for this. Many people are going to be excited to purchase and drive cyber trucks for the very first time, South Africans, and not knowing that they are ushering in a new era that is going to lead to the deaths of a significant amount of people. And again, plenty of winners, plenty of losers, fewer winners. Okay? This is how you survive this game. Don't do what everyone else is doing. You don't do what everyone else is doing. Because wide is the guaranteed path to hell. Like sheep being led off a cliff, plunging to their damnation, their deaths. Okay? What is it that you can do today because think of what is a superpower? A superpower is something that most people can't or will not do. So what is it today? Survey the landscape and identify your superpower. What is it that you're good at? What is it that most people aren't willing to do that few are able to do, or at least you are willing to do, of significance? Okay? What is it? That's a superpower. What is it that most people can't do or is too afraid to do? Because they're afraid of losing their jobs and offending their wives. Okay? You can start there. And everything else will fall into place. Just be consistent and be unshakable in that particular endeavor. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a superpower. What is it that most people aren't willing to do or is too afraid to do or can't able to do? Find that within yourself. Because the plenty of losers will try to discourage you and say, go get a real job instead. Or don't say that. See what happened to Andrew Tate? He got thrown in Yale. You don't want that, do you? Okay? Andrew Tate did the opposite of that. I can't even begin to count the number of times that normies tried to discourage me or try to advise me to do something, and I said, no, bunk that, I'm gonna do things my way. Part of the reason why I'm still staying afloat, now I've been damaged, but I'm still staying afloat, is because I don't listen to most people. Okay? If they're struggling to breathe, if they're listening to mainstream media, okay, and if they're doing the status quo thing to do, okay, don't listen to them. Do not do this. Don't listen to normies. Don't listen to these people. They will lead you off the cliff. Find your superpower. What is it that most people are afraid to do, and do that or say that? It's a good that is the blueprint. So yeah, that's the video for today. If you've been watching this far, thank you so much for watching. Remember, the Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. Don't fall for the psyops. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.
Away.